Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to turn this into this. This is our realistic suburban house. I'll show you how to make the entire outside of the house, everything that you can see, the front and back garden, and of course, I'll be showing you how to make the very varied inside of our house as well, with its many rooms. Too many rooms to show because this is going to be a long tutorial. Hopefully it goes without saying that you cannot follow this video until you have actually made this house. So if you haven't made this house yet, I would highly recommend it. It's an awesome house. You can check it out in the card system, description below, and the top of the comment section if you do indeed want to make it. So feel free to make the house, pause this video, and then come back if you want to. Here are all of the materials that we are going to be starting off with. This house is going to require so many materials, I don't think I can even accurately keep up with an item list. So I'm just going to have to grab a whole new batch every time we need them and show you them like this. So feel free to pause the video right now, make sure that you have access to all those materials, and once you do have them all, we can get started. So all of these materials are going to be for the outside. We need diorite, smooth stone, jungle leaves, grey glazed terracotta, or any kind of terracotta really, oak fence. We're going to be using some rose bushes, bone meal, stone pressure plate, and stone buttons. So the first thing that we are going to do on the outside is we have to make a path. We need to make two paths. So one path is going to lead from the front door, and it's going to be about 3 blocks wide. Don't be too worried about getting this perfect. It's going to be about 3 blocks wide, and it's actually going to kind of curve a little bit. So it's going to curve towards the front gate. Well, it's not really a gate that we have. I think that we can say that it's just kind of like an archway. You could build a gate here, but the idea of it is to kind of slowly curve towards the front gate. And we're going to shave off some blocks here just to make it about 3 rows thick, and that's a pretty good looking path. You might be wondering, why am I using diorite? Because diorite is probably one of the least used blocks that I use, and I don't actually dislike it as much as some people do dislike it. I know that it's not everybody's cup of tea. I actually do quite like it. I quite like white and grey, and you get both of them with this block. So this path is also going to join to a drive. The drive is made out of smooth stone. The smooth stone can pretty much be extended as far back as the brick archway that we have here. It's going to be about 3 or so rows thick. I guess it's going to be 4 really. I guess it's going to be 4 rows thick because that's how large we made the drive. And we can even connect the drive either using smooth stone, or I'm thinking, because we do have that one inventory slot left, I'm not sure whether you guys will have seen it in the inventory, but I'm thinking maybe we could connect it together with a grass path instead of making a solid path, because I quite like both of the paths like this. We have jungle leaves. They're the most vibrant leaf I find, so I like to use them the most, but you can use any. Jungle leaves are going to go around the bay windows. So around this bay window here, it can extend out a little bit like this if you like. It's going to go around this bay window as well, but only about halfway through this bay window, just to make it a little bit different. So just like this, that's looking pretty good. We're going to have jungle leaves as kind of like a hedge at the front of the garden, so it's going to sit against the horizontal row of brick that we have kind of like spanning across the garden. I'm going to have a large collection of rose bushes, pretty much behind like this little part of the hedge here, and maybe in this corner here, so maybe leading from the corner where the house kind of like joins the garden, maybe like across a little bit, just some roses. I'm going to bone meal a little bit as well. Later on we might whip out some more flowers, we might make it look a little bit nicer, but I'm going to bone meal. I'm going to chuck down a few stone pressure plates and a couple of buttons. I don't want to be too crazy with these because I don't want it to look a little too silly, but I do want to fill the garden, so to speak. Later on, I do think that we are going to join the drive and the actual, I guess, like footpath together. I want to place some jungle leaves up the side of the house as well, so it can even connect from the bay window all the way back here. It can hit this archway, And maybe it can even travel a bit further. Maybe it can come all the way up the side of the house, actually, as I look at it. And I just realised we're missing material. I figured out what that last slot can be. So, what we're going to do... First of all, I think that we've kind of got to make this structure on the back of the house so that we can kind of figure out where the path goes. So I'm going to dump these materials for a second. We can be getting them back. And we need oak fence. We'll be needing oak wood planks, oak wood slab, and the material that I forgot. Very sorry that I forgot. Like I said, it's so hard to keep track because there are so many materials with this build. It really is kind of crazy. We need terracotta. So... what do we have to build on the back of the house here that allows us to then kind of like figure out where the path goes? Well, there is what's known as a pagoda, which is kind of like a gazebo, but with missing pieces. So, from this corner of the house here, we're going to place 5 oak fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, right? We're going to leave a gap of 2, then we're going to place, extending up from the ground, so we have our gap of 2, yeah? And then on this third block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oak planks. Then extending across, we're going to have 3 fence, 1, 2, 3, place a plank, 1, 2, 3 fence, place a plank, just like this, right? And then you can connect back to the house using an entire row of fence. We want the oak planks to all be 5 rows high, so just measure it out using that first one and then you should be quite good, really. We want to connect the tops of the oak plank areas together to the house, so we want to connect the oak planks to the house like this, using oak slabs, just in long rows as I mentioned. So just kind of like this. If you want, you can also add horizontal rows. So we can, first of all, we can connect all of the oak plank rows together like this, and then how would it work? Maybe like one there, and then, so we could add a slab here and a slab here, leaving a 2-row gap, and then that actually looks alright, and then we have kind of like a crisscrossy sort of pattern. It looks quite good, and this is just an overhang, and we're going to have a couple of things under here, but I think that we'll build them a little bit later on. But an important part of this is that we have to have terracotta, straight up plain terracotta underneath the entire thing. I want it to look as though that it's got like a solid foundation. Instead of just grass, I want it to be terracotta. It's a nice colour. It's just kind of like a run-of-the-mill average brick colour. It actually looks to me a little bit more like brick than bricks, which is a little bit weird. It almost not brick than bricks. It almost looks like a more natural building material than bricks to me. I don't know if you guys all understand what I'm saying with that, but there's just something about the colour and the consistency of it that I really like. Not that I don't like bricks, because I of course built half of the house with brick, but there's something about terracotta that I really do just like. So, we have an extra slab here. We'll just knock that out, and then we just have to replace it. So, perfect. So now we have this area. We may as well fill it in, honestly, because I mean, yeah, well, why not? So there's a few things under here. There's a seating area that's made out of smooth quartz stairs. We need scaffolding. We need flower pots. We need spruce trap doors. We need magma blocks, or you don't need them necessarily. Water buckets, you may. That'll be it. That's actually it. So in this corner, we're going to have a little seating area. So just a little corner of quartz stairs like this. Maybe extend one out a little bit. Place a little bit of scaffolding in between some flower pots. You have a nice little seating area. Against this wall, we're going to leave a gap of 1 from the inside edge of oak fence. And we're going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4 quartz stairs. We're going to extend that end. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. We're going to dig out the middle. The middle is going to be filled with magma. We're going to place water inside like this. We're going to waterlog the stairs blocks, and the reason that one might want to have magma, you can see it bubbles every so often, so that's why you might want to add some magma. And not to be confused with lava. You want to add some magma, or don't. It's kind of up to you. It's not really like, it's not a massive deal, but it's kind of cool to see it bubbling. Have a nice little hot tub or jacuzzi. I suppose it would be a hot tub, maybe. I don't know the distinction. I think hot tubs can only be hot, but I think that jacuzzis are like, they're variable. I think. I don't quite know. But anyway, Or maybe it's that jacuzzis have bubbles and hot tubs don't necessarily. We're getting into minutiae here that really doesn't matter whatsoever. So, we can now, in doing that, extend this path around what we've just made. And we also want to do a little bit of decoration too. So, this path, we're going to need smooth stone, jungle leaves, we're going to need poppies, we're going to use a composter, we're going to use oak fence, we already have the leaves, and we will leave it at that for now. So, this path, we're going to extend the smooth stone path that we already have backwards. We're going to extend it backwards, and we're going to extend it around what we've just made. So, we'll leave it at this for now. It's going to remain, I'm not sure that I mentioned this, it's going to remain 3 rows wide. So, just like this. And it wants to stay kind of like, if the entire width of the path can't extend, so we don't extend inwards here, then we're not extending any of it, if that makes sense. So we want to have something which should look like that, and that creates a little crevice here, and that's why we have the flowers. We're going to add some flowers to it. So let's continue extending the path, and we can make it look all nice. And I'm not placing any blocks, and then when I do place them, they're in completely the wrong place. I'm losing my mind over here. So, let's fill this path in using the smooth stone, extend it all the way towards the back, so here, and then across here, here, and here. And then we want to we want to extend the path, and we basically want to line it up with the back door here. And we don't really want to intrude on any of the rows that we have on the left or right side of us, if that makes sense. You can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? So once again, if we can't really extend like the whole path and have it like be smooth, we don't really want any jagged corners, then we don't want to bother extending any of it. So at a right angle, no extra rows, we just want to extend it, and we want to join it to the back door. But now, we do want to branch off a little bit, so onto, like, underneath the pagoda, where we have not a greenhouse, the conservatory. We're going to have some flowers aside here. We're going to use a composter, we're going to fill it up. Boo, 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 until eventually, can I just keep holding the trigger? No, I cannot. Come on. Eventually, I want to see the little step. So, hang on. So, that was a proper sideshow, Bob. No! I want to see the stones. Hang on. I'm being a little bit too trigger happy. What I want to see... Oh. Okay, hang on. I've never had this trouble before. This is insane. Hang on. Wait. Come on. Where is it? Are you kidding me? Yes! Okay, there we go. Wow! And then I'm going to stick an oak fence on top, and then a couple of jungle leaves. That is the only effect that I wanted. I just wanted it to look as though there were some stones in there. That was so hard. So what do we want to do as well? Let me get a shot up of this. Okay, so we want to place a little bit of hedging around the conservatory. That'll make it look a little bit nicer, like this. We can connect it to the pre-existing hedging like so. That's not looking too bad. What else do we want to add back here? Well, we can actually use these stone pressure plates that we have as well. I didn't even realize this. The stone pressure plates are going to open the conservatory doors, by the way, so we can just crack those open whenever we like. We want to have, in this back garden, we want to have a couple of things, but first of all, we want to make a shed, because then it allows us to place everything else. Spruce wood planks, spruce door, glass, dark oak wood slabs, and I think that might be it, really. So the shed, I like it, the idea of it being just opposite this path, so like just opposite like where you would walk out like this. Haha, my shed of shedness. And we're going to place a row of 3 spruce wood planks. Well, let's leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4. So about here, right? We'll place a row of 3 spruce wood planks, and then we'll extend it towards the hedge like this in kind of like a rectangle. This middle block here is going to be a door, but I'm going to dig out the middle of the shed. I'm going to replace it with spruce wood. Door can go here. Spruce wood planks along the side. We'll make it 1 row higher so that we can add windows, and it might just look a little bit better higher. Can add a double window, or perhaps like a triple window, a single window, some sort of window on the side would look fantastic. And then we're just going to use dark oak wood slabs, and we're just going to create a roof for it. So very, very simple. Slabs on the side, extend them up as they overextend the edges, and then join them together in a little triangular pattern. Should be fairly simple. Hopefully, if you've followed any of my tutorials before, that is very commonplace. So you should be able to hopefully do that. If this is my first tutorial, that'd be a little bit weird that you're making like the interior tutorial without following the actual house tutorial first, so this would technically be the second, although we don't use that style of roof. Anyway, again, I don't know what I'm talking about. We're going to grab, just for a bit of decoration really, like the stone pressure plates, and then the buttons, and then the bone meal. We need the podzol. I like peonies and rose bushes for this next part as well. So we're going to make some flower beds. Flower beds, quite simply. I like the double tall flowers, any of them. I think there's only 2 or 3, I can't even remember. So on one side of the shed I've got the rose bushes, on the opposite side I've got the peonies like this, and in front of them I'm going to dig out and I'm going to place some podzol. Kind of makes it just look a little, it kind of frames them a little bit. It almost looks a little bit more realistic, if you ask me, which I don't think you did, but I'm giving you my opinion anyway. So we're going to bone meal a little bit along the back here. I kind of wish there was like a lawnmower in the back garden. I don't know how to make one. I've never thought about that. I should figure out how to make a lawnmower really. So just a couple of stones and stuff strewn about as well. You can even have like a little cute path. Not that. I don't want that. There we go. You can even have a little cute path to the shed if you like as well, which would be kind of cool. In doing that, I mean, we've done a huge amount now of the outside. There's not too much more to do, although there is a little bit more. But the back garden itself is actually pretty much complete. I'm actually very, very happy with that. There are 2 things in my mind that we've got left to do, okay? Number 1, I still want to make that path that connects a drive to the actual footpath. And we have to place a good amount of hedging on the side of the build. Only on this side. I'm not so bothered about the other side. I think it's because it's not really exposed as this side of the house is. So you need any kind of wood, I'd recommend oak, and any kind of leaves, I'd recommend jungle. And how are we doing this hedging that we have discussed? So, all the way up at the front of the build here, we can start off by moving just 1 block inwards. So here, placing an oak wood, right? Gap of 3, oak wood. Gap of 3, oak wood. Gap of 3, oak wood. Extending backwards, of course. Gap of 3, oak wood. 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 So on and so forth. I don't want to keep saying that. Eventually, we just want to have the oak wood. Eventually, it will come towards the back of the house. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to line up perfectly at all. So, what are we doing with these oak woods? The oak wood's very, very simple indeed. Very, very simple. We place on top of them 3 jungle leaves. 1, 2, 3. We extend the lower 2 jungle leaves outwards in every single direction. Just like this. That's all. That's it. That's all you do. That's the leaves. So 3 on top, extend the lower 2 blocks outwards in every single direction. This is tedious. Very, very tedious, but it's okay. It looks good in the end. We might have to compromise a little bit with. May have to compromise just a tad with that one that joined to the archway. So that's okay. Something that I thought about as well. On the original version of this house, although I took it off because the thumbnail didn't look as good. I know, not a great reason for doing it, really, I guess. It actually kind of is. I mean, the thumbnail's really important. I took vines off of the house. Like, originally, I think of this as kind of like a suburban, kind of like a nature, nice garden, kind of like, not kind of like a suburban country house per se, but I like the idea that it's kind of intertwined in nature, hence why we've got all of these trees, and hence why I've got all the flower beds and stuff. Like, it's actually somewhere that I'd happily live in a house like this. I mean, it's wonderful. So I had vines on the front of the house. That's something that I think that we're going to explore once we've actually done this. You see, just got to compromise a little bit with that one. We might add some vines, let it grow. We can always destroy it later anyway, it doesn't even matter. And we can see how that looks. So it might actually be, but I think I'm doing things in kind of like an inefficient manner at the moment. I think it'd be easier if I kind of like just went down the row and did 1 row of leaves. Not that it even matters now, because I've done so much of it, but Yeah, there we go. So that is what the hedge will look like, and you can see that it really does just make a really cool difference, right? Like, doesn't that just look way better now? It just looks more full. I really like it. I even kind of like the garden like this, quite honestly, and this is why I give you guys options. So if you want, an option is to, if you wanted to grab the shovel, and we're going to grab vines whilst we're at it as well, which are over here. I sort of liked the idea before I placed all of this and have it looking sort of nice, really, of having a little pathway, kind of like leading from the drive just to there. I don't know if I even like that as much as what I had, but again, options. Vines. Hanging them off the house. I think that will look quite good. I don't want to hang them off the upper part in the middle because I don't want them to like swing and sway in front of the actual entrance, but if you want to apply a little bit of vines, try and avoid the windows. I think it'll actually look quite cool. You could even add like leaves underneath the window. You could add window boxes and stuff. You can add, again, vines are probably not back here. There's not really anywhere to place it back here. Maybe just on there. This side of the house is a little bit better for it because we could even hang it like hanging straight just across the window like this if you wanted to. This side of the house is a little bit better for it because it's a little bit plainer, but we'll let those grow and we'll tackle those a little bit later on. But you could see, hopefully in your mind, how that might look sort of cool, really. So, I mean, you could even have like, since that's quite high on this side, maybe we'll just, no, actually, we'll leave it exactly like that. Next, we actually have to do, we've done the outside, by the way. I completely kind of like blew over that. That's the outside done. I think that we've done everything that we kind of need to do on the outside. I don't think that there's anything else to add unless you want to add a little bit of minutia, lawnmowers, that sort of stuff. Maybe garden gnomes if you can make them. We're going to crack into the actual house itself. The house is very, very empty at the moment. We're actually going to be doing a little bit of a fast forward very soon. So, oak planks. Our old pals. This is going to be most of the floor, really. We need oak planks and another integral part of the floor, which we may as well make now because it'll actually save us doing it later, is going to be the ceiling, the top ceiling. This is going to be on the second floor. So we only need oak planks and we don't need the oak wood or the jungle leaves, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Okay. So, what are we doing here? Ground level, we're going to dig out the entire ground floor. We can replace certain blocks later on. We're going to dig out the entire ground floor, okay? We're going to replace it with oak planks. Where is the second floor going to go? I'm glad you asked, Jim. So we're going to leave a gap of 4 in the wall, basically just on top of where this white concrete is, on top of where the bay windows are. We're going to have the second floor. So hopefully it's quite easy to see through demonstrating like that, like that's where the second floor is. So you've got a gap of 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually quite a good amount of walking around space. And then where is the final part of the equation? Where is the next floor going to go? 1, 2, 3, 4. This 5th row just above the windows. This is going to be where the next ceiling is going to be. And that is just going to be light grey concrete. So hopefully we've kind of got like all 3 floors sorted out. We're going to dig out the entire grass, replace it with oak planks, extend those oak planks across, and then we're going to replace all, and then we're just going to have a row of grey concrete. I'm going to be back once all that's done, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm also going to grab a brand new item list, so that's going to be 2 things. I'll be back in a moment. So all of those floors have been filled in. We have filled in the ground floor, the second floor, and the 3rd floor. You'll have to take my word for it since we can't see it. The 3rd floor has also been filled in with light grey concrete. We'll be seeing that a little bit later on. So not only do we have to do those things, but we have to grab a whole host of new materials. All of them can be found right here. This is what we're going to be using, and we will be needing even more and more and more as we continue. So pause the video, make sure that you have all your floors made, make sure you have all this stuff. Once you do have everything, we can get started. The materials that we're going to be kicking this off with include brick blocks, brick stairs, paintings, lanterns, oak wood stairs, smooth quartz slabs, and scaffolding, flower pots. Perfect. We're going to start off with the front door area. So the front door area is going to allow us to separate the entire downstairs into hallways and mostly two rooms. So when it comes to the doorway, I want you to place bricks left and right of the front door. So basically what you're doing is you're just kind of like reinforcing the entrance. On the left and right sides of these bricks, this is where the hallway is going to begin. So this second row, for instance, on the right hand side, the second row of bricks wants to be extended towards you by 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like this, and you can fill the entire area in with bricks, so you can join it from the ground to the ceiling. You then want to leave a gap of 3 in the ground, 1, 2, 3, and then you want to extend an entire row of bricks backwards. The row of bricks is going to extend backwards, and this is going to basically like half the house. This left half of the house here is going to be a kitchen dining area, which takes you to the conservatory. So after creating the separating wall, I've realized that the back door cannot be in the center. So originally the back door, if we open it on the back garden, is actually in this position right here where it should be, so the door should be here. However, I changed it because I didn't think that it would make an impact. It does. So we will be changing that later on, but basically what we must do is in front of where the actual door is here, we have to place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bricks extending in front of the door. Those bricks are then going to be extended to the ceiling like this. That is looking good. And then we want to place oakwood stairs in between the 2 rows of bricks. So this connects to the longer wall, which is separating the house. So in doing this, we can now grab our brick blocks, and we want to have a parallel row of bricks, leaving a gap of 2 between this small wall, and we want to have a row of bricks that it's basically the exact same thing, and this creates a small corridor leading from the back garden into the house, or from into the house into the back garden, just like that. Perfect. So now that we've done that, we want to leave a gap of 3 between this wall, so a gap of 1, 2, 3, and then we want to place a row of bricks that extends and it joins to the entrance. Hopefully that hasn't been too confusing for you. The only confusing part hopefully is the fact that we have to place blocks in front of the door. It's a design change that I made on the fly when I was actually making the initial tutorial for this, and I shouldn't have done it, obviously. So now that we have done that, we can even add a couple of lanterns about the place. So like against this wall, let me quickly. So the white concrete here wants to be extended, and we want to just kind of like fill this wall in a little bit. I'm going to fill, so from the outside it wants to appear that we've got like white concrete on the side here, and then there will be a door here. So I'm just going to swap that back to bricks. So along this wall I want to have a couple of paintings. The paintings work out to be that you can actually place one like every other block, sort of. So you can have like against this wall, we can have like a painting, you leave a gap of 1, have a painting, something like that. Or you could have like a painting here and then a gap, painting, gap. It doesn't really work out precisely, but a couple of paintings on the wall never hurt anybody. And we can add a couple of lanterns as well, and that will also brighten the area up. In doing that, we can extend the actual stairs upwards as well, now that we can actually see where we're going, and we can extend the stairs up and back, and we can just knock out enough blocks that it will take us to the second floor. We'll be working on this later, of course, but it's actually nice to be able to see where we're going to be going. And hey, I told you that I filled in the ceiling, so let's work our way down a little bit. The purpose of the brick stairs is so that we can create archways. We're actually going to join the front and back of the walls together here, and we're going to place brick stairs, upside down brick stairs, in each of the 2 corners like this. So that's perfect. So you can see this hallway has shaped up really nicely. I really like how it's turned out. And this hallway has a couple of different uses. So in the corner here against the front door, we're going to have a small table. It's going to be smooth quartz stairs, smooth quartz slab, and then we're going to have a smooth quartz stairs on the opposite end. We can place a scaffolding and we can stick a lantern on top. Again, lighting's very important. We want to have a couple of quartz slabs, maybe even three quartz slabs extending across, like parallel to above the table, and we can have like a flower pot as decoration, and we'll be adding a little bit more decoration later. As a matter of fact, we might add it now because I think we've exhausted these materials. So we're going to grab the tripwire hooks, item frames, oak pressure plates, armor stand, chests, white carpet, light grey carpet, and grey concrete. On this little table here, I like the idea of just having an item frame or two, and maybe like an oak pressure plate. Just make it look as though the table's a little bit cluttered, perhaps. A couple of tripwire hooks, maybe to hang some keys above the table. On this opposite wall, perhaps a place to store some clothes, so a couple of armor stands, and then a double chest just to, of course, keep stuff in as well. You can even have more paintings if you like. You can have more lanterns. It depends how much light you want, so what would look good here? So we can have like maybe like a painting here just up above this chest, or maybe, you know what, we'll go for a double painting. So that's kind of in the middle of the wall, then in between the armor stands and everything. That's fine. We can have that one, and maybe just like. There we go, maybe just like a lantern. Again, just to keep things nice and bright. I like the idea of having a rug. If you start off just with white carpet and kind of just have basically one row away from the front door and one row away from these stairs, if you just have like a rather large rug, you can even have a colourful rug as well if you want. And then just speckle it is probably the best word that I can use to describe that, with light grey and grey. Like, depending on what you can like add more blocks or less blocks depending upon how you feel about it. And that's a pretty nice hallway. I really like it. It feels very warm, and it feels as though that you've got a lot of possibilities. You've literally got 4 ways that you can go, like left, right, up, or just straight through. And we'll leave it like that. I'm quite happy with this. So the next area that we're going to be working on is the dining room / kitchen area. So when it comes to the dining room and kitchen area, first of all, we're going to work on the dining area. So we need to make a table. The table is 2 rows away from the edge of this archway, and it is 1, 2, 3 rows thick. And the grey concrete extends backwards 1, 2, 3 rows like this towards the bay window. And it's a very simple table. It's only it's just grey concrete pretty much. But we're going to use, do we have any materials? No, we don't, that we would be using for the table. So the table requires smooth quartz stairs. It requires flower pots, item frames. We need end rods. They kind of look like candlesticks. We're going to be using some lamps, so that's going to be some glazed terracotta. We're going to be using paintings. Again, paintings are one of my favorite decorations. I love them. Smooth quartz slabs, and even a little bit of white carpet. So basically on the table, I'm going to start off by sticking 4 item frames, 1 on each corner. Quartz stairs on the outside of the item frame, so they just look like plates. Couple of end rods in the middle, they look like candles. Chuck a couple of flower pots, they look like cups or drinks of some sort of something. I'm going to have paintings, so 1 painting pretty much like in the middle of the table here. It's going to be a 2x2 painting, so it's going to be this. No. Not bad. I kind of like that one. And then on this opposite wall here, we also want another 2x2 painting. Preferably Guy Thinking. Karate isn't bad either, but I like Guy Thinking. Yes, perfect. At least, I don't know, it kind of looks like one of those like Greek god guys, those statues that are kind of just sitting there with like his hand under his chin like, Or at least that's what I get from the picture anyway. So in these 2 corners, I'm going to stick 2 lamps. If you want less boring lamps, I don't know why I've got such a fascination with like grey and white all of a sudden, but any 2 end rods, two end rods with any glazed terracotta will be lovely. We have to extend this wall here 1 row forward, so just using bricks, we just have to extend that so it's even on both sides. All you have to do for the bay window is literally just place some quartz slabs extending from the top and outwards, and it actually makes it look quite cool. If you want to make the bay window look even better, you'll place upside down stairs in the bay window like this. We'll just have to destroy the stairs like this. And then you can place a colourful carpet. Again, I don't know why everything's grey, but, you know, feel free to change the colour of things. I'm only going to stick to it due to the fact that I've already done it, but grey and purple go quite nice together. So, and then you can, like, carpet the bay window, and then that would suggest that one could sit in it or something like that. And honestly, it's quite a nice part of the house. I really like it. Strip of white carpet just to kind of like... It kind of just puts like a nice end on the table, and that's pretty much that. I really like that part of the room. Like I said, I feel as though it's quite cozy. So this part of the room, we have to do a little bit of a design change. So let's do two things that will help us. Grab the white concrete and the black concrete. We can grab some lanterns. We also have to destroy a little bit of space. So we have to break into the conservatory. If you come to the end of the room and you leave a gap of 1 and you destroy a double wide space like this, and you can make it 3 rows high, that opens up the room a lot and that takes us into the conservatory. Leave a gap of 1 between the archway and then destroy the entire floor in this portion. We are going to be needing oak planks, by the way, so feel free to grab some oak planks as well. If you're in creative and you have kind of like the pick block function, just, you know, grab a slab of not a slab, a plank of oak planks. Grab a plank of oak planks before you finish, and continue destroying the floor into the conservatory. However, we are going to be replacing the floor with oak planks because it's a nice warm material, and I quite like it for the conservatory. I imagine conservatories to be... I don't think I've ever even been on one, actually, but I imagine conservatories to be very warm and kind of cozy places, or at least that's what I'd want mine to be anyway. And we're just going to have the floor represent that. I'm quickly going to grab these doors as well, just in case I wouldn't be able to pick those up, and going to replace those underneath the door. Boom, we can walk in. Perfect. So, why did we destroy this area and then replace the conservatory? Basically, we're going to be making a checkered floor using white concrete and black concrete. So the checkered floor is kind of like, again, kind of like an old school, in my mind, kitchen floor. Like it just reminds me of kind of like a more old school floor, and that's sort of like what I get from this house. It's kind of like a bit of an older build. It's got nice big open rooms. It's got nice lavish colourful garden. It's full of life, and it's kind of like not... It's not like kind of like a new build of house where it's like a small garden. It's kind of like small pre-planned rooms. It's got a little bit more life than that, so that's why I imagine the kitchen floor to kind of look like a chessboard. So what can we do in the kitchen with the materials that we have? Well, we can make the counters, which uses grey concrete. We can add the oven, which uses furnaces. We can add campfires, which again helps us with those things. We can use cauldrons. We can use light grey shulker boxes. We can use item frames, probably flower pots a little bit, and maybe even heavy pressure plates. So basically, where we have this little checkerboard pattern here on the right, we're going to leave a gap of 2, and then we're going to have a row of grey concrete from this gap of 2, extend across and join to this wall. The grey concrete is then going to join and extend to the conservatory, and then we're going to have some grey unit counter space here that is going to just sit across this wall like this. We want to have a table, like a kitchen island, and that is basically like 1 row away from these end 2 blocks where we first started. We're just going to have grey concrete that kind of like just extends across like this. So it's quite a large island. You could even make it a bit smaller if you wanted to, perhaps on this side, because we've actually got a little pantry as well. So I'm going to place item frames in a few different places, and we can actually use more materials than we have. So I'm going to place an item frame here, leaving a gap of 1 from the end, and then another gap of 1, another item frame. That'll be relevant later. Chuck a lantern here to provide a little bit of light. Some item frames on the left and right sides of the kitchen island. Maybe place a couple of weighted pressure plates here. A flower pot here that kind of just looks like plates and stuff. You can even do the same sort of thing here, maybe just like a couple of plates on the side. You can even have, like, again, a couple of pots. The oven can pretty much go wherever you want. I'm going to line it up with the end of the island here, and I'm going to place 2 furnaces, campfires, and then I'm going to, above this will be quartz stairs, but either side of the quartz stairs will be light grey shulker boxes. In addition to that, we're going to have light grey shulker boxes across here, just one row up above where we have this counter space, and you can even place another flower pot if you like. You can maybe even stick a weighted pressure plate on the end, so you can see that the kitchen has come into life quite nicely, but we do need some other stuff. So we need some seats. That's going to be end rods, some white carpet. We have our, did we place our cauldron? No, we didn't. So we need our cauldron. We need our tripwire hook. We need the quartz stairs as well, of course. It would benefit us to also grab the lanterns, and we will grab a couple more materials as well. We could also do with the smooth quartz slabs and the chests, and we could even do with the any kind of fence really. Let's go with, what fence do we want? Shall we use a colour? Shall we use crimson fence, or will that look a little bit weird? Or maybe warped fence. Let's try warped, although I don't think I don't know if it will go. So I'm going to stick, what am I going to do? I need to place some stairs above here where the campfires are. I need to destroy this block here in between the units and the weighted pressure plate. Cauldron. Tripwire hook above it, looks like a sink. You can even have a little bit of unit space just up above here, like you can have a couple of lanterns or something like that, or flower pots, or you could even have like a chest and a lantern, something like that. Against this wall here, lining up with the edge of this island, we're also going to have just like a little shelf with some chests on it as well, a little bit high. Above the island, I like the idea of having some lighting, and that's going to be quite easy to have. So the lighting is basically just made out of, it's made using the warped fence, and I think that we'll actually do it this way. So you see where this warped fence is here, destroy the warped fence, place a lantern, leave a gap of one moving left, place a lantern, place lanterns underneath the warped fence, or any block. I mean, warped fence I think might look a little bit silly. We could even use chains. Chains would look actually cool. I didn't have them at the time that I actually recorded this tutorial, but now we do have chains, so that would actually be pretty awesome actually. So we can have chains instead of the warped fence, and we get a nice, and that's more kind of like fitting the theme of the kind of like the old school look. Yes, I love chains. They look so cool. They're so useful for so many different builds as well. Perfect. All that this little island is missing, by the way, is a little brewing stand. So, you know, that can be a kettle or, you know, whatever you want to imagine. It can be really just a place to get drinks. Boom, here. Can place a little brewing stand there, and that's looking pretty good. This is a breakfast bar, so place end rods where the actual pressure plates are, and then I have white carpet again for the tops of the seats, but again, feel free to add some colors to this. There's actually got to be a window as well. That I want a 4 wide window on the side of the house here. I'm not sure that I actually want it. I want it to be 4 rows wide, and I want it to be pretty much be right in the middle of the wall, like this. I might shave off these hedges and just have like a little window here, just to add even more light. I want it to be nice and bright in here. This is a cool part of the house. I really like it, and I want it to be nice and bright and sort of airy feeling. In the corner of the kitchen, one of the things I actually like most about the kitchen is the fact that there is a pantry. Now, if you destroy a 3x3 block area, kind of like in the corner of the kitchen here, and if you back the area using white concrete, and the white concrete will basically sit across the back of the stairs, and then it will join forward to the brick wall here, and then we will add, we've got a row of 1, 2, 3, and then we'll add white concrete to the top, and then we want to have brick stairs in the top 2 corners like this. That's looking pretty good. And then we need scaffolding, our old pal the scaffolding, which we still have. And we just kind of want to make some shelves. I mean, this is what my pantry sort of looks like. It's a little bit messy, to be quite honest. And we can have a couple of item frames. We can even light up the inside with a little cheeky lantern in the top left corner. And then basically what you would do is you would just fill this in with foodstuffs. So, what can we use? I like the idea of having a big organic block. Yeah, perfect. So, pumpkins. and just something to chuck in the item frames that are food, pretty much. You could have eggs and, I don't know, mushrooms if you wanted to. So, or yeah, you probably want you would store dry goods in here. I wouldn't recommend storing meat. That would end badly. I can guarantee it. So, if we can place, yeah, perfect. There we go. So now we have our 2 pumpkins, kind of floating, but honestly, you know, whatever. Nice looking pantry. I really like that. The kitchen is pretty much 100% made. The dining room is made, and honestly, like I said, one of my favorite parts of the house, I've got to say. Really, really, really love this part of the house. You could even add item frames kind of above here, or you could add like a little collage of pictures. But what we're going to be doing next, we're going to be heading into the conservatory, and I think that we've mostly exhausted our materials. So I'm going to get rid of all of these. We'll probably be getting some repeats, but we'll grab enough materials that we can make the conservatory. We can make some of the living room as well. So I'm going to do exactly that. Let me get rid of everything, and then we'll be back with a new item list. Okay, so here are all of the materials that we are going to be using. I know that there's some repeats, but you know, that's the way it goes. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. So initially, we're going to be starting off with some red concrete, smooth quartz stairs, smooth quartz slabs, scaffolding, and rods. Light grey glazed terracotta. Please do feel free to change all these glazed terracottas if you like. Bookshelves, black concrete, and painting. So, what we're going to be doing in here. First of all, I want to place some bookshelves. Again, this is kind of like my idea of a little cozy room. So that means lots of books against this wall here. Basically, the wall that you walk in, I just want it completely plastered with books. On the right side, double end rod to make a floor lamp with a light grey glazed terracotta on top. Against that, we're going to have red concrete extending across this back wall. Smooth quartz stairs in front of it to hit this wall here, so the bricks. Extend the ends to make kind of like a little bit of a lounge chair of sorts, kind of like one of those lounge sofas, a corner piece. And against this wall here, we're going to have a couple of scaffolding, just as kind of like a little bit of a table storage area. So, what are we going to be adding here? Well, again, next to the double doorway, we're going to have a little TV stand that's made out of 2 back-to-back upside down quartz stairs, black concrete on top, painting in front. That's actually the exact painting that I wanted for once. I really, really like that one. I think it's just, again, it adds to the cozy vibe of this room. If you want to make the room even cozier, you're going to add a rug to it. That's, again, a white carpet, light grey carpet, and grey carpet, oak pressure plate. The reason that I use these colours so often, by the way, is because they're so neutral. Feel free to, if you want a particular colour scheme, do change them. I keep repeating myself with that, but I do want to hammer that home. The oak pressure plates are for the door so that you can walk in and out, and they blend into the floor. A little rug right in the middle of the room. So if you start off, I always start off with just like white carpet like this, and then I just kind of like make the ends 2 different colors, and it just seems to work all the time. You can even have lanterns as well if you want to, maybe like a lantern on the table or a double lantern. It's already very bright in here though, it just makes it brighter for later on when it gets a bit darker. And you can also see the entire garden, which looks awesome from this view, by the way. One of my favorite rooms, this. It's so simple, but I kind of vibe with this room. I actually wish I had something similar myself in the real life. So now that we've done this entire side of the house now. We've done the dining room, we've done the kitchen, we've done the conservatory, the little pantry. So awesome. I love this house. And we can come over to the opposite side. So the opposite side is bathed in darkness. So what we're going to be doing on this opposite side of the house, this part of the house actually has 2 functions. It is a living room, and it's kind of split off from a not a dining room, kind of like an entertainment room of sorts. And that's what we're going to do. So on this side of the room closest towards the bay window, the front of the house, we have to have a sofa. So let's actually grab all the materials that we're going to be needing, right? So we're going to need smooth quartz slabs, we'll need quartz stairs, we'll need green carpet, we will need green concrete, we'll need shelves, which will be spruce wood slabs. We'll fill up the shelves a little bit later on. We'll need white concrete, we'll need red concrete, we will need end rods that will provide us a bit of light, which is going to be very much needed, trust me on that one. And we will need some black concrete. Bay window, first of all, easy to take care of. You simply add the smooth quartz slabs at the top like this, and it kind of just sorts it out. It just looks a lot better. Upside down quartz stairs at the bottom will sort the floor in a little bit with some sort of carpet in the window. I'm using green. It makes the bay window look 10 times better, at least it does in my opinion. In this corner here, we're going to leave a gap of 1 and we're going to place a row of, I want to say, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's way too much. Yeah, I guess it's just a row of 4 green concrete here. So leave a gap of 1, row of 4, place sideways smooth quartz stairs on the ends and join them together with front-facing stairs, and then you'll have a sofa. You don't even need the green concrete, it just adds a color to it. Above this, we're going to leave a half a gap on the left side, and we're going to place 2 spruce slabs, and then we're going to leave another half gap, so between the slabs here, and we're going to have like another series of shelves. We're going to leaving a gap of 1 between the sofa and the archway. We're going to place 2 end rods on top of each other. This is going to create a lamp a little bit later on. We have to create a coffee table. So the coffee table, dig out in front of the sofa, just like the first row, extend it left and right, and then dig the ends towards you, the left and right sides, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and then join them together. We're going to place red concrete inside here, and then we're going to dig out the center, and we're going to replace it using white concrete, like this. Perfect. Basically, opposite and equal to the sofa, we want a TV stand. The TV stand is going to be made out of quartz. So upside down quartz stairs on the ends, quartz slabs in between, and then 2 rows of black concrete on top of that. And then we're going to join it to the ceiling using end rods. So it almost looks as though it's like semi-supported, but you don't even need the table underneath it. Honestly, it just looks as though that it's hanging from the ceiling there. It's up to you. It depends what sort of aesthetic you're looking for. So in doing that, we can now create, and by the way, the floor is driving me crazy just underneath the bay window, so I'm just going to destroy that, and I'm going to replace it with the oak and then get rid of it. So in the middle here, we want to have in the kind of target-shaped area, we need some scaffolding, we need some white carpet, we need some lanterns, go away, no, lanterns, and we need flower pots. Azure bluettes, it doesn't actually matter, loads of flowers in it. It'd be better if you had a variety of flowers, but I don't want to keep clogging my inventory. And then something for the lamp, so any glazed terracotta, I'm using yellow. This is a multicolored room, I suppose. So basically, scaffolding on top of the entire white concrete area. White carpet on top of the middle 4 blocks. Pick one side for the lanterns, place them. Pick one side for the flower plots, place them. Place flowers inside the pots. Double lantern on the top 2 shelves above the sofa. Double flower pot on the lower, fill it with flowers, looking good. Stick yourself a glazed terracotta on the end rods, and there you have a nice cozy, well lit as well living room. We're going to take this wall next to the lamp and we're going to extend it towards us by 1, 2, 3 towards us, I mean like this way, and we're going to join it to the ceiling. So again, it's kind of like a little cozy room. Do we want to add another block? Do we want to kind of just, is that going to be too much if we have that there? I don't know. I quite like that, the extra little bit of wall, but it's up to you. I mean, it's kind of inconsequential, really. Like that way it actually lines up with, like, you can't see the people on the sofa, so it's a little bit private, but you can see that. Adds a little bit more light. I quite like it like that. And you can also place a painting right in the middle of this wall. A little 2x1 or 1x2, however you want to say it, would actually be perfect. So I'm looking for white. There we go. White background with the guy in it. That is exactly what I'm after. Also, the ceiling's getting filled in there. Perfect. That looks great. I really like that. You could even have the equivalent here, but you've got the lamp in there, so I think it looks cluttered. What do we do with the rest of the room? So, the area, basically, you see this area here, in between the archway, against the back wall, I want to have a cabinet/shelving area. It's very easy to make. It's basically made out of spruce, birch buttons, spruce trapdoor, and then you fill it up with stuff. So like we'll be using chests, lanterns, flower pots, you guys get the idea. We could even use pictures maybe. Yeah, we could add one or so. So as I mentioned, it's equal to where the archway is. And it starts off with a row of spruce planks along the bottom, birch buttons in front of the planks, and then we need a solid block that brick will do. And we basically just want to, all the way up to the ceiling, we want to have spruce trap doors along the sides of and coming down, by the way, next to, on the left and right sides of the spruce planks. So we want to have kind of like from the floor to the ceiling spruce trapdoors, and it's much easier if you actually have something to place it against, hence why I just grab the bricks quickly. And then we can fill this up, so we can place chests, we can have a lantern that keeps things nice and bright, we can add another shelf to it. And then I'm just going to add flower pots. And again, I know that I'm using the same flowers all the time, but I don't want to clutter my inventory. I might even go around and change all the flowers a little bit later on. I'd love it if it was all different ones, like completely different all the way around. Okay, so now that we have that, what are we going to be adding? Well, a little rug would actually look pretty good, and we'll change the style. We'll use white carpet and grey concrete. Grey carpet, not concrete. And we'll have a little bit of a square. So the idea of this is that the rug is going to have a white outline. It's going to be one row away from the archway, one row away from the cabinet, because it can't actually get any closer to it, look. And it can just be in between. Now this area is kind of like an entertainment area. We're going to need green concrete, looms, bookshelves. We will be needing that spruce slab again, maybe even the buttons. We'll be needing end rods, spruce trap door. We will be needing the orange glazed terracotta, and also we will be needing smooth quartz stairs. So against this wall here, we're going to place a row of green concrete, so on the opposite side of the archway. And we're going to have a long row of bookshelves extending to the right, like this. We're going to place against this back wall green concrete, like this, so it's kind of going to cover up the end of the bookshelf. And we're going to place green concrete in the other corner, and we're going to have bookshelves here as well. So loads and loads and loads of books. Feels cozy. I really like the room. I'm going to destroy a little window. So the window is one row away from the bookshelves. It's 3 rows wide here, and it's just going to provide us some light whilst we work on this room. I'm going to have a lamp, a table with a lamp on it, so it's going to be a spruce plank, button in front, end rod, and again, different glazed terracotta. I really like the Finding Nemo terracotta. In this corner here, just a sofa of some sort. I mean, you can make this out of anything. You can give it a corner piece if you like, and then place a couple of stairs extending across it. You could even turn the end stair into a little bit of a corner if you like, kind of like make it into a corner sofa. You could even chuck like a little coffee table in the middle. It depends how crazy you want to get with these things. You could even clad it using, that's actually kind of like a cool sofa. I've not made that before. I literally just came up with that right now. I sort of like that. If there was some carpet in between it, maybe some... what would work nicely? Maybe a cyan carpet would look good. Did I just come up with a new style of sofa? Maybe like this? Or maybe with like an orange centerpiece? I sort of like that. Maybe change the spruce into a different color. But anyway, so a nice little seating area in the middle actually looks sort of cool. We have to make a piano here, but the piano has a chair. The center of the piano is where the center brick is here for the window. The piano is, it's effectively 3 blocks long, so like 1, 2, 3. Maybe we can't really have a seat for it. We could place the seat off to the side though, maybe like next to here where we have the shelves, and then we could actually have enough room for the piano, I want to say. But anyway. What can we... Okay, so we don't need that many materials for the piano, so I'm actually going to grab them now instead of, like, resetting. So for the piano, we already have looms, which we need. And then all you really need is... we need dark oak slabs, dark oak fence, and dark oak signs. Yes, perfect. Okay, so... I mean, dark oak stairs might even be... you won't even see them, it doesn't even matter. So, basically, underneath this window, just place dark oak planks, right? Place looms in front of them. We then want to, on the side here, place dark oak slabs, like this. turning into planks. And we want to have... this is actually where the stairs might come in handy to kind of kick this off, because it's like a bit of a better shape for this. If you stick a sideways dark oak stair just in the corner here, and then we can have kind of like a dark oak wood slab, and then there's nothing to place this against. And then we basically just want to have 2 dark oak wood slabs kind of like hovering up above the top of the back of the piano, with a dark oak fence kind of like keeping it open. That keeps open the back where all of the strings and stuff are. And then if we just kind of like clad the piano in dark oak signs like this, it actually looks kind of cool. Now, unfortunately, with my fancy seating design that I've just came up with that I really, really like, it means that we can't really... I mean, unless we turn this here, but I like that as it is. Unless we have, like, the seat here, then it doesn't really... We can just have the piano as decoration and kind of, like, have the seat there if we wanted to, but it's still kind of cozy, but the idea was to have that seat, that, like, where the coffee table is, to have that there, and then that obviously makes more sense. Anyway, all we've got to do to finish off this room, believe it or not, we've actually just about done it, is add glass to the window. That's all there is to it. Perfect. Glass to the window. We've done this room. There's nothing else. We've done the lower half of the house. It's taken so long, I'm so sorry. So the lower half of the house is actually done. I'm very, very happy with it. I hope that you guys are as well. I think it's very nicely detailed. And now that we've done that, we can let's walk up here. We can head upstairs. So upstairs, we're going to need some new materials. Actually, first of all, we can actually make the rooms using the white concrete. So when it comes to upstairs, we're going to use white concrete to make a series of hallways. The hallways actually are quite logical, and I'll explain why they're quite logical. So, the upstairs has a long corridor. The corridor extends between the left and right side of the house using white concrete that sits on the outside of the windows, right? So, there's basically a long corridor that sits in between the left window on the left side of the house and the right window on the right side of the house. There is a row of white concrete on the left side of the stairs here that separates that part of the house into a singular room. We have another row of white concrete on the opposite side of the stairs here that kind of just like clads the stairs a little bit. We want to have a gap of 2 that allows us to walk up the stairs and around this corner into this corridor. But in doing that, we want to create a wall on the opposite side of the corridor, which gives us this room. You can see how it kind of slots together between the windows. On the opposite side here, there is a master bedroom, which is on the left side. It's a big room, and then there is a bathroom. It's simultaneously an ensuite bathroom and also the only bathroom. So that actually lines up with where we have this wall here. If you move through the corridor, so you can even place a row if you like. If you move through, this is the bathroom. That is the master bedroom. We don't need that row. So that is how the house divides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise up these walls to connect to the light grey concrete, and I'm also going to grab the next set of materials. I don't quite know where we're going to be starting with the second floor of the house, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. So as you can see, I have added all of the walls. I have extended them from the ground all the way up to the ceiling. I've also added doorways. So we already had these hallways. I've just added doors. The doors are pretty much situated just like in the corners of the room. So like you can see, it's right next to the wall here. The same can be said for this one. The same can be said for the bathroom, and the only difference is actually the master bedroom, in which the door is directly in front of you as you kind of like walk to it. So make sure that you have extended up all of those walls, make sure you've separated the house, and that you have all these materials right here. This is going to get you started with the upstairs, but it's not going to finish. We need, first of all, to start this off, green concrete, smooth quartz stairs, flower pots, lanterns, azure blades, paintings and rods, light blue glazed terracotta using a different one, and birch doors. But of course you need all of those. Feel free to pause the video, make sure you have them. I know there's a lot of repeat materials, but that's kind of how this goes. Okay, so what are we doing with these materials first of all? So why don't we start at the beginning? The beginning is as you walk upstairs. So here, I like the idea of having a little seat at the top of the stairs. It's not an uncommon thing. We can have green concrete on both sides with stairs in between. We can place some green concrete atop the actual wall here, and we can have like a flower pot, and we can have a light on the green concretes. So looking pretty good. So we have a seat, and we have kind of like a nice little pleasant area we can look onto the back garden from. On this wall here, we're going to be having lots of paintings. I really like paintings. So the paintings actually work out to be that if they're one row away from the side of the wall, you can actually have, well, what are the odds of that? You can actually have a painting, like two paintings centered perfectly against the wall. What we can then do is we can place lanterns on the ceiling above them, and I really like that effect. What else do we have to do? Well, on one side of the room, on the left, we have to add like a similar... We'll do this on the left, why not? We want to have like another seat similar to what we have above here, except it's only a row of two with green concrete on the end. We'll have green concrete above, and then we will have a lamp on the floor. So that's, of course, going to be two end rods with light blue glazed terracotta on top. We're going to have a painting on the wall in between the door and the lamp, and it is just going to look a little like that. So that actually looks pretty good. I'm quite happy with how that turned out. We can have a series of paintings on the wall here as well. This can lead from... Please be different? Oh, no, come on. There we go. What? Yeah, okay, they're all different. So we can have like a series of paintings on the walls that kind of just lead from here just to where the master bedroom is. And you can place doors, by the way, on the master bedroom, on the two bedrooms, and even on the bathroom door as well. You can place doors all across here. So what about this opposite end of the house? I again, I like the idea that there's kind of like a seating area and kind of like... just kind of like a colourful area, but on this side of the house, I think what we're going to do is we're going to add a unit of some sort. It might even be better placed here because I think there's more. There's more rows here. So, like, I'm going to place a unit just like as you walk right. There's just going to be kind of like a cabinet, and it's going to basically be made out of. It's similar to the one that we made earlier. It's going to be made out of spruce wood, birch buttons, spruce trap doors. You can even change it a bit. You could even use bookshelves in it if you wanted to. You can even have lanterns, flower pots, flowers. You guys get the idea. So we start off with the foundation of the planks, and then I'm actually going to fill it in up to the ceiling with bookshelves. And then I'm going to clad it on the outside using trap doors. This is going to take it from the floor to the ceiling, and it will also blend all of the books and stuff inside of it. We can have buttons at the bottom, and then you can knock out the lower. I mean, you could even knock out two rows and then place like a shelf above to support the books up at the top, and then you can have a light and then a flower or something similar. And I think that that's quite nice. You can have that just here, just varies things a little bit. And what does that mean? So that means that we could have a picture here opposite, so we could have a 2x1 or a 1x2, and we could have a similar sort of thing here as well, just to keep these. No, why does it keep repeating? Okay, perfect. So something like that, just to keep things a little bit nice and bright. And I guess we can have yet another one. So if it's, are you kidding me? It just makes it look so much more interesting up here if we have these things. I just like it a lot better personally. That's the hallways done though, right? So that's the stairs, that's the top of the stairs, that's all of the hallways, all the connecting rooms, perfect. So all we have to do now is just the individual rooms. The first individual room that we're going to do, and it doesn't matter by the way, you can do either the right side or the left side first, it doesn't matter. This is the room that as you walk out through the hallway, you turn right and then right again, and this is the room that we're going to be working on. So this is what I would call the pink room. So You can make it any color that you like. I just have like a pink and a blue room. It just seemed to make sense to me. And we're gonna have like a pink concrete. We're gonna need bookshelves. We're gonna need the quartz blocks, the stairs, and the slabs. We're gonna need ladders. We're going to need the pink carpet and the white carpet. We're going to need a painting. We're gonna need birch pressure plates. So first of all, the reason that it's called the pink room is because first this wall here where the window is going to be turned pink. Boom, pink room. Do we need this row of white concrete? No, we don't. We can actually knock that white concrete row out. We don't need that whatsoever. So, boom, pink room. If you want to shrink the room, you can even go a little bit crazy, and you can add like you can add pink to that wall as well. That actually wouldn't impede anything. But that one wall as a feature looks quite good because the bed is actually going to be heavily themed with pink as well. So against this corner where we have the pink wall, we're going to have a row of 1, 2, 3 bookshelves, and we're going to add, I want to say 2 rows on top of the bookshelves like this. Yeah, 2 rows on top, so like a 3x3 square. We're going to add a row of pink concrete on the left, and we're going to have it extended 1 row towards us. We're going to create a little desk space. So that's basically, we're going to have smooth quartz on the left and right side with a slab in between. We want a painting above the middle block, so just a 1x1, and we're going to stick a pressure plate in front of it to look like a laptop or something similar. We're going to use quartz slabs across the top of this. We're going to place ladders extending up the left side. We're going to stick a white carpet against the wall, and we're going to have 2 pink carpets here. So again, nice little themed bed that way. And now that we have the nice little themed bed, we can work on the rest of the room. So what do we need here? So why don't we make some cabinets and some units and stuff? So birchwood planks, birchwood slabs. We'll use buttons again, probably. As a matter of fact, we've not used them yet, so we'll need chests, we'll need end rods, we'll need lanterns, we'll need birchwood doors, and okay, so that'll do for now. We want to make some wardrobes. The wardrobes, we're going to leave a gap of 1 between the door, and we'll construct a couple of birchwood planks in this corner as well, and then in this corner as well, so like this. We're then going to have birchwood slabs across the top of all of the planks, all joining together. In this corner here, we're going to have an end rod, which kind of just looks like a curtain rail, not a curtain rail, kind of like a hanging rail of some sort, and then we'll have a chest on the floor. We will have a double, how will we do this actually? We will, let's start off by placing like a double door, like a double birch door, kind of like here. Or maybe we can even make it a triple. We can have like a triple door, and it just looks like a really big closet, really. Yeah, that'll do quite nicely, actually. So now that we've done that, we can have a counter or a unit in the corner of the room. So a couple of birch planks with buttons in front of it, and we can have buttons in front of the quartz blocks as well that we have for the bed area. The end rod is so that we can have a television. So the end rod is going to hang from the ceiling, and we don't have the black concrete that we need to make the television, but we can easily grab it, can't we? You see, we just run out of so many, all of this requires so many materials, you just run out of space. So we can have a couple of black concrete hanging from the television, and then you can also watch it whilst you're sleeping. 500 IQ. And what else do we want? 500. And then we need to grab some smooth quartz slabs just to make some shelves. And then it seems a bit high for just placing a TV against her. And then we just need a couple of shelves, so maybe like here and here, and then that doesn't get in the way of the door at all. And then you can have lanterns, or maybe we'll have lanterns on the upper because then they're kind of hidden. And then you can have flower parts with flowers in them a little bit lower. And once again, I reckon I'm probably going to go through the entire house. I'm going to make things maybe a little bit more colourful using different flowers and stuff. And there's not really too much more that you need to add in here, other than that, just kind of like a bit of a carpet. I think I'm going to make it primarily out of... Well, yeah, it's probably... I kind of want it one row away from everything because we have to because of the buttons. And then you can even add a bit more pink or whatever primary colour you really want to use in here. So you can use pink or you could use blue. And again, just kind of like... It's so easy to just use white and then just like whatever colour you want in the corners. I'm quite happy with all of this so far, by the way. The only thing that is bothering me is that white concrete needs to be changed to light grey, which I've just promptly done. You can even add, because it's a little bit dark over this side, it feels you could add like a lantern. Where would that solve the problem? Never mind, it's just straight up dark anyway. So yeah, that's the room. It's actually a very simple room, very, very simple indeed. And the next room that we're going to be doing is actually very simple as well. It's almost a direct copy of that room, quite honestly. So we come over to the opposite side of the house. Instead of taking a right at the top of the hallway, we take a left. And on this left side here, we're going to start off by, first of all, we're just going to be, this is the blue room, so we're going to be using light blue concrete. And it's going to just sit on the outside of this wall here. Perfect. And that's it. You can make that any color that you like. We have to make the exact same bed that we have had before. So we need bookshelves. You don't need the stairs actually. We just need the slabs. You do need buttons though. Ladder, white carpet. This time, whatever primary color you use, you need the same carpet. So we'll be using the light blue. And is there anything else? I mean, we can chuck another lantern up there as well. That'll brighten the room up a little bit too. Let's do it. So in this corner, we're going to have a 3x3 set of bookshelves. We want to have quartz blocks on the left and right side with quartz slab in between, birch buttons in between, in front of the blocks there. We need... I've made this in such a weird order. We need a painting on top of the middle block with a pressure plate in front of that to make like a laptop. We are going to use light blue concrete, and we're going to place light blue concrete on the left side here, extending upwards to the top of where the bookshelves are, and we're going to place a set of ladders extending up. We're going to have quartz slabs across the top of the bookshelves, and then we can make the bed, which is simple. White carpet on the end for a pillow, a couple of light blue carpets to add a bit of colour. The lantern lights this place up. That's the effect that I was looking for in the other room, actually. In the corner of the room, we want the same setup. We want the 500 IQ TV position, which is the birch plank, the buttons. We need the black concrete. We need the end rods. We're going to have a couple of shelves and then probably the birchwood slabs and like the birch doors. In the corner, just a couple of planks, birch buttons in front. Hanging from the ceiling, of course, the end rod with the two black concrete so that one can watch television. We can knock out the corner of white concrete, no need for that. And then we can add a couple of shelves like this. And we can do a similar thing with the shelves as we did with the other room. So we can have lanterns at the top of the room, and that kind of like sorts it out. And that kind of like sorts out the light situation. And then we want flower pots on the lower shelves with flowers of any kind in there. Again, if you're sticking with the blue theme, you might want to chuck some perhaps blue orchids and the flower that I cannot remember. I want to say cornflower, but that sounds wrong. Am I wrong? Where are we? Is it cornflower? So we've got the blue orchid, and by the way, we've got warped roots now, which look really cool. Cornflower! Well, I was right for once. Okay, cool. That doesn't happen very often. And then against this wall here, we want to have a wardrobe situation. So this wardrobe's going to be a bit... Actually, no. We'll place this wardrobe right next to the door. And then we will have birchwood slabs across the top of it. We'll have we'll have kind of like that same end rod situation here. And we'll place a chest... where are we? And we'll place a chest underneath it here. And then... so that it doesn't look weird, we'll place a birchwood plank here, and then we can place just a couple of chests inside here. But we will use the doors backwards, just kind of like this, right? And yeah, I actually think that looks pretty cool. I really like that. And then we can have like a chest here. I mean, you can add chests wherever you like, just to kind of like, that looks a bit dumb. Maybe like, nah, I don't like that whatsoever. I'll actually leave it a bit more plain than that. You can even add armor stands. That's an obvious choice. We could add like an armor stand. On this unit here, it's a little bit full, but you know, you could add jukeboxes and stuff. We need a carpet. We're actually keeping these rooms specifically quite simple, so I don't know why I'm trying to make them more complicated than they must be. We'll have a little rug right in the center of the room here, and then we'll do a similar deal. We'll have like the light blue. We'll add a little bit more color to it this time around. That's looking pretty good. I like that. This room feels bigger. I feel as though that I've been able to place some more things. I don't know if it's the configuration or what, but it should actually be quite equal in size, but I might be wrong about that one. But yeah, this is the room, nice and simple. Feel free to alter it any more than this if you like. Feel free to make it your own. So what does that leave? That leaves 2 rooms. We have the master bedroom, and we also have the bathroom. So I'm going to add a door here that leads onto the bathroom, and hopefully this is going to be the last item swap of the tutorial, because again, we are going to be using a lot of what we already have, but we are going to be needing a few different things for the bathroom as well. So I'm going to clear my inventory, I'm going to figure out exactly what we're going to be needing, and then we can continue on for hopefully the final part of this tutorial. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I do think that we are going to need another item list after this one, but this is the penultimate item list. This is everything that we're going to be using in the master bedroom, and also a little bit of the bathroom as well. So make sure that you have access to all those materials, make sure that you've got enough of them, although you don't know how much you need, and this is what we're going to be starting off with. White concrete, birchwood planks, oak signs, white carpet, purple carpet, lanterns, flower pots, ferns, and weighted pressure plates. Alright, let's do it. So, first of all, I'm realizing we don't need this row of white concrete that we have here in the corner, so we can get rid of that. But we do have to add some more white concrete. So, the white concrete that we're going to add, we are going to add in front of this window that we have here on the left. So, we're going to smooth out this wall, essentially. And what we're also going to do is we are going to add white concrete around the window that we have here on the right. And the white concrete is actually going to extend, I think, I'm hoping that we don't have to knock out that row, just across to the left. So we have kind of like an interesting room shape. And that's cool because on the left and right sides of this crevice that we've kind of made, yeah, that's actually perfect, that's the right shape. We want to have 2x2 squares of birch planks with oak signs in front. Oh, my bad. With oak signs in front, like this, right? And it just kind of looks, it's kind of like a different set of drawers, it's a different kind of set of units, cabinets, whatever. We want to have, what would be best to use for this? We're going to use white concrete, and we're going to have a 3x2 square of white concrete. We're going to stick white carpets on the end, and we're going to place purple carpet on top of the white concrete that protrudes out from in between the 2 cabinets that we've created. We're going to have lanterns on the ends of the cabinets, we're going to have flower pots inside, and we're going to have ferns inside of that. And that is going to look pretty good. Actually, no, you know what? We'll move the ferns 1 row backwards so they can sit in the window, create a little bit of depth, and we can just have a couple of weighted pressure plates or something in between. That looks pretty good. We could even have a whole set of ferns look silly? Will it? I don't know. It might be a bit too much. We'll leave it like that, but I think that might look all right. So that's this particular part of the room almost pretty much done. So we're going to, what do we need for the rest of it? So we need paintings, end rod, lime glazed terracotta, spruce wood slab, birch buttons, looms, black concrete armor stand, and birch doors. So in the corner of this room, we want to place a floor lamp. You guys know how this goes. A couple of end rods with a lime glazed terracotta on top. Next to this is going to be a TV unit. So basically that's going to be a solid spruce wood plank, 2 slabs in between with another plank on the end. We're going to use looms on the end of this. We're going to place them 2 high with black concrete in between. We're going to stick some birch buttons in front of the 2 corners, and then that will look pretty good. You can have another window on the end of the room, or you can have paintings. So this is going to be a different style of placing paintings than we have done before. It's basically using, actually looks alright with the same painting. It's basically just using 2x1s and kind of like stacking them like this into a Tetris shape, and I actually quite like that. Typically I use 2 different ones, but that actually looks pretty good. So what we're going to be doing with the rest of the room here. So for the rest of the room, And by the way, the armor stand is meant to be placed one row in between. It's basically in between the door and the TV stand that we've just created. The room doesn't need that much more stuff. It needs some it needs some wardrobes, which are birchwood planks, and we have the door here as well. It needs a little table to sit at. That's basically just made out of stairs and slabs. We're going to be using these signs. We'll probably use the birchwood stair. We'll need lanterns. We'll need flower pots, and we'll even use a tulip as well. We did a little bit different plant variation. And left of this window here, just start off with a 2x2 square of birchwood planks with birchwood doors in front of it. Perfect. And we want the same just next to this door, so 2x2 with doors in front, and that's basically just 2 wardrobes. In this corner of the room, we're going to have the upside down quartz stairs. One row away from it, we want the same thing, facing inwards with a slab in between. Place a lantern in the middle, flower pot on the other end, tulip inside of it. We're going to use a... do we want to use a... We'll use a... yeah, we'll use a quartz stair, and we'll just stick some oak signs on the side just to make it look a little bit better. We want to use... I mean, you can use any colour on the dressing table. You could use purple if you want to, or white, or whatever. Or you could use a pressure plate, but I'm going to stick purple carpet on the dressing table with a light blue banner in front of it, sort of looking like a mirror. It's actually quite easy to make a mirror, but that involves using the looms and all sorts of different things. But if you want to use an actual mirror banner, then that would look pretty cool. And other than that, we just have to add more... we just have to add a bit of a carpet in here, a bit of a rug. So that's going to be made out of primarily just white carpet, as we've kind of been doing all over. I never like the rugs to actually touch anything, really. And then we just add a couple of, a little bit of a speckle of purple. And that looks pretty good, and it's a pretty nice, simple room. I mean, that's the entire point of it. It's a nice, simple room, really easy on the eyes. I really like it. You can add paintings and stuff if you want. I mean, it might look... I don't know whether it looks a little bit bare in this corner, but if you do feel as though that it does indeed look bare, then feel free to add some shelves, which you could add some... We don't have any chests around, do we? So, which you could add some chests to, or, you know, whatever you want to add. But again, you know, feel free to add whatever you like if you do think it looks a little bit bare. But this is the room. I'm pretty happy with it. We should also change that block. Stuff like that drives me crazy when it's just like one block. I can't let it be. And then we have to head into the bathroom. Now, for the bathroom, honestly, I am completely... You know what? I'm actually going to dump every single material. There's some that we got just for the bathroom, but I reckon... Let's just have one final item list. Let's also knock out this corner pillar because there's no need for it. And let's have one final item list, and this will be for the final room of the house, and then it will be no more. There's no more to do. We're almost finished. Okay, perfect. So here are all of the materials that we hopefully need to just finish off our bathroom. I don't think that we'll need any more, but we might. We'll see. We're going to start off with the smooth quartz, the chiseled quartz block, the white stained glass pane, levers, leather, end rod, iron trap door, warped slab, or you can also use prismarine, water, and tripwire hooks. So most of these materials are for this half of the room. So the half of the room that is basically like the far side of the house. So in this corner here is going to be a shower. The shower is we're going to leave a gap of 2 from this corner, moving left like 1 and 2, leave a gap of 2, and then against this wall, chisel quartz block, extend forwards by 2, and then place 2 warped slabs to the right. We then want to add glass pane, white glass pane, on top of the chiseled, and it's going to extend up to the ceiling, just like this. Against this wall, we're going to have 2 levers, and we're going to place end rods underneath the top here, and we're going to have iron trap doors underneath each one of the end rods. Perfect. And what we can also do is, we don't need the chiseled anymore. This is up to you. Daylight sensors kind of look like drains. I don't know whether you like that or not, but I kind of like the drains being there. So that's up to you whether you want to add those or not. Like the water it has to go somewhere. What else do we have to do? We have to add the bath. The bath is rather easy. So a gap of 1 between the shower and the bath, and against this wall here, we need stairs. Okay, so against this wall here, we need to place, I think it's 1, 2, 3 upside down quartz stairs, block on the end, and then 3 upside down quartz stairs extending to the front wall. Warped slabs in the bottom. Water inside of the bath area. Tripwire hooks hanging off of each end here just to kind of like look like taps. And then flower pots just to look like shampoo bottles or the like, just kind of like on here. And then that looks pretty decent. We have a few different banners. I've got 3 different colours of banners. They're all essentially towels. Like 1 can go aside the bath here and 2 can go aside the shower here. Just looks like a load of colourful towels. I kind of want to get rid of the bricks here. But the problem with getting rid of the bricks, you can actually get rid of these 2 bricks, right, here. And you can actually get rid of the one underneath the bath. Like, it doesn't make a visual impact. But if you get rid of this particular corner brick here, then you'll actually see it from the outside. Unfortunate news. But we are making a toilet here, and there's 2 different ways to make the toilet. You can either make it using 2 stairs. So you can use upside down quartz stairs, and you can have like a upside down quartz stairs like here, placed on top of where the brick is. Or we can use a solid quartz block, cauldron in front, solid quartz block on top. For the toilet lid, any trapdoor will do, and then a button and a pressure plate on top and to the side. Perfect. You can even have another banner if you like as well. Why don't we... I like the yellow one quite a bit. So we could even place another banner there. That's not looking too bad. Against here, we can have some counters. We could even move the door. So where the door is here, we can even shift this 1 row across like this. And then we've got a little bit more space for our counters. So if you just shift the door 1 row across, and then we need grey concrete, we need the birch buttons, we need cauldrons, we need the tripwire hook. Water's not too bad either. We can use water, we can use flower pots. There's going to be a shelf up above here, so that's spruce wood slab and lanterns, and then we can even use, I don't know, we could even use pressure plates, or we could use white carpet. Basically, here we're going to have 1 grey concrete, cauldron, 2 grey concretes, going to have buttons all the way in front. We're going to have a... Well, that's real unfortunate. We're going to have... No! Nothing that can get... Is there anything that can be destroyed by water? No, thank goodness. Okay, so above this we're going to have like a tripwire hook. We'll fill that in with water. Flower pots here. A flower pot there. And then we'll just have stone pressure plates. That looks quite good. In this corner here, we'll just have a couple of lanterns, and that actually keeps the room quite well lit. Doesn't make any sense to add any windows here because it is a bathroom. This one's quite high, so it doesn't really matter. You can add paintings if you want. I mean, a painting here might be alright, or not really one against this wall. The only place that I would have it is perhaps here, maybe just a singular one there. Just since I do seem to have an obsession with paintings, I will admit that. I guess I didn't realise how many paintings are actually in this house. But like maybe a singular painting just here. That's awful. No. 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 That one's not bad. Okay. That's not too bad. And can we really add... I mean, we can add a little bit of carpet. Maybe we'll just add white carpet here just in front of the shower, just like this, just to wipe your feet off once one's had a shower. Could even add a colour to it, maybe just 1 block. Do we have another? No, we don't. Of course we don't. Maybe, what can we use? Maybe a blue. Maybe we could use a blue. Just here, just to kind of like add a slight bit of colour in. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We've done the entire inside of the build. I don't know how long this recording has went on for, but I know that it's been a long time. I'm going to go away. I'm going to make sure that absolutely everything is done I might even replace some of the flowers. I might not at this point because we've spent so long doing this. I might just leave the flowers as they are. Make sure that the vines have grown, but I'm going to go away, make sure everything's perfect, and hopefully we can just take a nice once over and see all of the cool stuff that we've added to this house. I'll be back in a moment. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we have been putting together. I'm actually quite happy with how the vines are growing. They haven't really grown to their full potential yet, but they look really cool. I really like them on the house. I mean, I don't know if you guys will as well, but it was certainly an idea anyway. Even if you don't like them, feel free to remove them if you did indeed add them and you don't like them. But the front garden's looking good. We've got all of our pathways, all of our flowers. We've got vines growing all over the house that can only make the house look more interesting. The entire back garden's done. It's looking bright, vibrant, colourful. Really like it. We've got our shed, we've got our flower beds, we've got our pagoda, we've got our hot tub, which is still bubbling away. We've got our seating area looking really, really good and colourful. I really like this. One of my favourite houses that I've ever made, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that as of yet, but as we head inside, we can kind of have a look at it in the way that, in the order that we tackled this house in. So as we walk through the door, initially we have our hallway, which I've added a couple of armor stands to. Well, I've actually added stuff to the armor stands. They were already there, but it makes it look a little bit more colourful. We've got our tables, we've got our key area, we've got our paintings on the wall, we've got our lanterns. If we head inside this part of the house, we have our dining area with our lamps and our seats. We have our kitchen with the cooker blazing away, a little bit of a breakfast bar. I should have added food to those plates. That's something else that you can do as well. Add some food to the plates. We have our pantry. This leads us into our conservatory area, one of my favorite rooms of the house. Nice, open, bright. We have our seating area. We have our television. We have our books. As we head through to the opposite side of the house, we have a twofold area. We have a nice little living room with a large TV on the wall, sofa, coffee table, lights, flowers. We also have a little bit of an entertainment area, so we have a bit of a shelving unit and we have a seat. I really like that seating, by the way. That's definitely going to be in my new repertoire. We have a piano, we have more books. As we head upstairs, that's the entire downstairs. As if that wasn't enough, we have upstairs, where we have plenty of long hallways with places to sit and kind of like admire everything around us. Nice colourful halls with paintings and units and lamps. We have the pink room, which is looking pretty good. We have the bed in here. We have the TV. We have all the wardrobes, the shelves. We can say the same about the blue room as well. That is pretty much the exact same, except again, slightly feels bigger in here. I don't know why. It's kind of weird actually. It must just be the layout. But yeah, we've got the blue room as well. All the same things. We have our master bedroom, which is nice and it's just different enough that it's quite delightful to come in here. We have all of our units. We have the bed. We have all of our plants. We have the wardrobe. We have the TV. We have the dressing table. We have the storage, and this leads us into the bathroom, the master bathroom and only bathroom, as a matter of fact. We have a large bath. We have a really cool shower, actually. I like the design of the shower, by the way. I'm very happy with that one. And we have our units. We have our toilet. We have our shelves. We have everything that we could possibly want in a house, hopefully. And that concludes, ladies and gentlemen, possibly one of the longer tutorials that I've actually made. I can't wait to see how long that actually turns out to be. That is absolutely insane. I'm going to have to start increasing these like goals. I don't know if I can take doing that again. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I hope that you've managed to decorate your house in a way that you really like. As I said, this is one of my favourite houses. If you did enjoy it, please do remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Click that little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one after I give my voice a break. Goodbye.